I met a man of 2 feet tall.
Did he say that was okay?
Yeah. Downstairs to tour my office.
Nice.
Well,
You can see what fancy offices
and we
they
have
get.
lots of pictures of React throughout the years.
Okay.
How we reaction.
Okay.
And so we tell him about that was the talent show. And to each act we did a back-to-back and like the new products and stuff that have been here about stuff we do and stuff.
Okay.
And grades came to talk to me and watched it. And they watched it.
Good for you guys. Who produced that? You guys make the commercial yourselves?
Yeah, it was pretty much like person meeting with that, but they all listed
Okay.
names. This is for you. It's just tobacco facts
Okay.
and React facts.
Okay. Thank you.
So, Jason, do you understand what these shoes are about and what React is about?
I do. Why don't you tell me? Why don't you tell me what you want me to know?
Okay. So, these shoes are 1,400 pairs, and 1,400 pairs represents the average life lost per year, only in Montana because of the tobacco-related illness.
Yeah.
Whether it be secondhand smoke, cigarettes, or a shoe, or snus, or any of those nasty products. And we're just trying to prevent that number from growing or staying the same.
Yeah. It's a good cause.
Yeah.
And the lady told Senator Reese how many in Montana lose their lives together.
The average is 6 people per day. Lose their lives.
Yeah. Got it.
So, what are you planning to do with the money if React and Montana tobacco usage prevention program are canceled?
The money right now is going to Healthy Montana Kids to provide health insurance for uninsured children.
Okay. And do you think that is more important than React and us trying to save these lives?
You know, what you find out when you're up here is that some program is important to everybody, and what you have to do is prioritize. I mean, that's the challenge. And in a world where there's plenty of money and you don't have any constraints, either on your time or your money, then you fund things or you do activities. But life becomes about choices, and so what we looked at with the tobacco prevention program was that we couldn't decide whether it was taxes or other things that were encouraging people to smoke less. Because look, everybody knows they shouldn't smoke. I mean, that's the truth. Everyone knows. So, I mean, you can go ask any first grader, should they smoke or not, and they know. Or any fourth grader, someone who hasn't been to school. So what we couldn't decide was that the money that was being spent was what was driving it. I think the volunteer efforts are really important. And I you guys probably know that I volunteer. No one paid me to go in and do that because I think it's really important to continue to talk to kids and adults about smoking. So I wouldn't want to discourage you guys in any way from the work you're doing. But yeah, we do have to make private choices up here, and it's tough, and it was a lot of money. So
Have you ever lost a loved one to like a tobacco-related illness?
yes, I have, but even if I hadn't, it wouldn't make a difference for me because at the end of the day, people need to take responsibility for their actions, and people make a choice to smoke. They make a choice to begin with, and they don't start it. Their parents don't put cigarettes in their mouths when they're babies. People at some point choose to do something.
But they also might make that decision because of lack of education. They might not know the consequences of it.
What's difficult about smoking, I appreciate, is that not everybody who smokes dies from smoking. So a lot of people play the odds, and they do that when they don't wear their seatbelts. They do that when they text. They do that when they make a whole bunch of life choices. And the question is whether it's our job to continue to push on that string and try to make them make the right choices, or whether we ought to find other ways to encourage the good behavior. Because I agree with you, you shouldn't smoke. And it does devastate families.
I'd like to get back to you real
Sure.
quick about the thing that smoking doesn't always kill. I agree, smoking does not always kill. But my grandmother's brother, he smoked from, I don't know, but young, very young. faith without the
Yeah,
oxygen.
you understand my point, Delia, is not that anyone should smoke. My point is that people take risky behavior because it doesn't always result in a consequence that, you have a chance of getting cancer. So they play the odds. That's my thing. Just like people play the odds of drinking and driving, that doesn't mean we're encouraging behavior. I'm just suggesting that part of our challenge, because I think we all agree that people shouldn't smoke, part of our education challenge is making people understand you might be one of the ones that gets cancer, or your children might from secondhand smoke. So we all agree on that. We all agree on that. We just
Okay, and our next question is, what side are you on? The big tobacco side or the 82% of Montanans that voted against big
I'm
tobacco?
glad you asked that question, because do you know who made the deal with Big Tobacco? To give them a monopoly on cigarette sales without competition. You know who that was? That was the American Cancer Society and the federal legislature. They made a deal with corporate tobacco to give them exemption from antitrust, keep them permanently in business, protect them from competition, so that they could get this money. And I think that's a really dirty, underhanded thing to do. So when you say who's in bed with big corporate tobacco, you've got to be really careful that you know your facts, because the folks who are doing that are not people like me. I'm not encouraging anybody to smoke. I don't take their campaign donations. They don't make any. But what they got was a monopoly in exchange for hush money. And that's how politics works. Some people play it that way. I don't, but I'm real discouraged that's what happened. But that's how that happened.
If I remember right, and I might not, but part of your campaign to become senator was like the Clean Air Act and that kind of stuff, right?
No, but go ahead. That's okay with you.
Oh, well, I know that you supported it, right?
I don't support the Montana Clean Air Act. I think it's a private property takings. I think that if I don't smoke, you guys, and I wish you wouldn't smoke, and I hope you don't, and I hope your friends don't. But if somebody wants to open a bar where they're smoking, that's their private property right to do. And I would encourage you not to go there when you're old enough to drink. Don't go to a bar where people smoke. But it's what that was telling private property owners what they could do with their property. I don't support that. I don't support smoking either. Those two things aren't mutually exclusive.
Well, in Red Lodge, Silver Strike, that used to be a smoking bar,
Right.
but it was also a bowling alley where kids were.
That's right.
So,
Yeah, and I probably wouldn't take my kids to a place where there's secondhand smoke. That would be my choice. And if there was somebody who might not be in compliance with the law, and someone asked me as a personal favor, if I would go in and talk to a business owner, I would do that, because my suggestion would always be to comply with the law. If you don't like the law, you can get it changed. But you shouldn't confuse support for takings of private property with a general willingness to help people who have different views communicate.
And we didn't have REACT program at that time, and I wish we had, because we probably wouldn't have been sick on the school bus from trying to chew dried tobacco leaves. But,
No, I think that's a good story. Delaney, I want you to go research this corporate tobacco thing, because what it really troubles me, because the narrative is distracting. In other words, the idea that somehow you're, first of all, vilifies corporations, which aren't bad. They aren't bad things. And then, secondly, it's misleading, because it sets up this idea that you're against kids or you're for corporate profit. But that's not a choice we're facing here. What we're facing here is you guys are doing good work. We want you to keep doing that good work. But if you want to convince people, you have to make sure you got access to good information. I don't want you to go around and say to somebody, hey, you're on the side of corporations because you don't want to spend this money, because that isn't true, and I don't want you guys to be hampered in your efforts with that. So I want you to research, and I know you've been given that information, and I know we struggle with that here all the time. People giving us good information, bad information, and we have to sort that through. So go look that up and make sure you understand that tobacco settlement and exactly what those cigarette companies got. And that was an act of the legislature supported by groups like the American Cancer Society who lobbied for that. They were willing to give someone a monopoly in order to get their money. And I question whether that's a really a very good thing to do. So I think I would encourage you to keep doing your work, but also make sure you know about how these things were created, because you'll be more effective.
oh, need to help with the REACT, when you're doing your movie night, you must contact the Carbon County News, get a couple photographs, and make sure that you're trying to get front page coverage for that, because that's helping you promote the program, and it's not costing to do that, and that's a great step forward in prevention.
Just like Thursday, I think it is, when we get back to Red Lodge, someone from the CC News is coming to interview all of us about our experience, so that'll be fun.
For you guys, I think your guys are setting a very good example, and you're right, it's important. Little kids look up to you, your peers look up to you. I have a 7-year-old, and he thinks what you guys do is way more interesting than what his parents do, you know, and it's just, that's just how kids are. So I really think that you guys need to keep doing your work. I do think it's important, and what I hope you will appreciate is that, so what you guys are doing is leading by example. So what we're doing here in the state of Montana with the budget is we're leading by example too. We have to make sure our budget is balanced so that people can have jobs and people can live in a state. And it means tough choices. Now I don't think not smoking is a tough choice, but you guys could do a lot of other things with your time, right? You guys could hang out with friends, you could go, you know, you could watch TV. I don't know what teenagers do, so I don't know what they do. But you could do all that stuff. But instead you've dedicated yourself to this. Well, we have to do the same thing up here, and just like you face choices, we face choices. So I hope part of your learning experience for this is not that you're not valued, because you really are valued. We like what you're doing, and if you want my help, I'll come in and help you. I like what you're doing. What we have to do up here is make choices. And so just like you do with your time, we make choices with money. And we had to fund insurance for kids. We used money to fund kids with learning disabilities, and we prioritize that over tobacco spending, because we just couldn't get comfortable that the spending of the money was what was driving success. I think probably you guys are driving the success, not the spending. So I hope you will appreciate that. And I can't emphasize enough, it's not that we don't value you. We do, and we know you're doing important work. So I hope you guys learn that in this process too.
Without the money, we wouldn't be able to do things like Celebration on the Hill, because we wouldn't be able to afford to stay in hotels or, you know, eat.
But you guys may have to do what many organizations do in our communities, which is, if it's valuable, you fund it through fundraisers and through people being involved. That's what we do. We do that all kinds of ways in our communities. And if you had a local group and you wanted to do that kind of stuff, I'm sure you would get a lot of buy-in from people in the community, because they're going to look at you guys, they're going to appreciate you, they're going to think that you're leaders, and they're going to want to support you. So government isn't here to do everything that someone might want to do or be able to do in the private sector. Sometimes the private sector just has to do those things. And I don't want to discourage you. I really believe in what you're doing.
Okay, and with these questions and this conversation, we just wanted to express to you about how we felt about this whole situation. So thank you for meeting us and letting us film it for the other REACT students.
And thank you for being here. And just hang in there and keep up the good work, because it is important, and your peers and the youngsters will look to you, and you really need to set that
Thank you for
example.
your questions. You could come up here and be a legislator, because you ask good questions. That's the key to the whole process.
I met a man of 2 feet tall. This man was quite ambitious in a world that is so vicious to us all. I said hi, as he replied. He said, listen to these words that I have lived by my whole life. You're only as tall as your heart will let you be, and you're only as small as the world will make you sing. And when the going gets rough and you feel